Hello to all you poker players out there, and welcome back to the nerdy and nitty-gritty side of Limit Omaha and to this project that just seems to go on and on and on. We are getting closer to half the way, but I just have a lot of things doing on the side of this, so it has to take that time it takes. Since the last time I made a video, I played 950 hands. It's over 2 sessions. $153. Should only have been winning 91. So running good, very good indeed. And I have an average all-in equity of 62, which is very fine and nice. I've just picked out 6 hands here we can go through as good as we can. This is a little bit of a funny one. There's a bunch of limping. The thing about when you want to solve for games when there are limping going on, it's not this, at least the bucket tool which I use and also is provided by the Mastermind from Jane Anderson's team. I shall leave a link for that in the description below, but the bucket tool here can't solve for limp pots yet. It will come, I think. So it's hard to know exactly what to do when people they limp around. Nevertheless, here in the small blind I opened up with King 9-7 single suited, which is totally fine. The big blind calls, and the under the gun limper calls too. So here I have an overpair and kind of some future blockers, right? So I decided to just go ahead and kind of value bet here on the flop. And so here on the turn, I turn a gut shot, but also a blocker to the 7-8. With this 7 here, so I just decided to go ahead and bet small on the turn and kind of give up if he jams. But here on the river, I have no idea if I'm value betting or I'm bluffing here. I do it as a bluff, and that's why I just barrel off and he folds. Yeah, I really don't know what it is. One of these weird situations that happens in with some kind of frequency in Pot Limit Omaha, where you don't really know if you're bluffing or value betting. It happens in No Limit too, but in Pot Limit Omaha it happens much more often. This was one of them. Next hand here, it's a funny little one. This poor soul get his teeth knocked in over here in the big blind. I go ahead and free bet here with King 8-7-6 double suited versus under the gun to kind of push hands like this out and get it heads up, because this is a hand that plays much better heads up than it does in a multi-way pot, right? And we can go in here and see in the pre-flop helper, I put it in here where it says like when you're in the cutoff, it is a free bet versus early position. 100% of the time. So that's fine. He goes ahead and calls cold over here, and I'm actually not sure if this is correct to call cold there, but he do. I flop a boat, very very lucky. So you kind of see here how good I run is. Like the EV of this move is 0.16 big blinds per hand, right? And here I flop like I win, I don't know how much a buy-in, right? So yeah, running very good. Bet small here on the flop, even though I have it totally locked down. I think it's reasonable to make a range bet on the flop like this in position, especially when I have this strong of a hand. He calls with a straight draw. This guy calls 2. He turns his straight and jams into me, and yeah, he can have 10-8 or pocket 10s, but there's no way. We are folding a boat here when the flop is so draw heavy as it is. So I go ahead and get it in, and he calls, and he is drawing dead. So that was lucky for me. The next hand we have here is kind of one of these equity-driven decisions on the flop, even though I'm out of position. In the big blind with ace 10 9 4 double single suited to the ace, so the 9 10 and the suited ace provides for some kind of nut potential. So I think we can go ahead and defend here in the big blind in a multi-way pot. And I flop very, very good. I got shot to the nuts and the nut flush draw, but I don't think there is a lot of incentive here to just start. I think it's better to just play my equity and give up in certain spots instead of bloating the pot and have a higher variance play in this spot here, even though my equity is robust and solid. So I go ahead and call. Here on the turn, I turn the nuts with the nut redraw, and I go ahead and lead. He has like a flush draw 2 to go with it, but he is kind of blocking his own outs to boats here, so that's kind of questionable what he's doing here. But obviously he has like top set, so he has with a second nut flush draw to go with it, so he has quite a strong hand, no doubt about it. I think Villanova here goes and fold, and we get it in with 80% chance of winning, and boom, he rivers quads. So these things happens too, and it's fine, absolutely fine. I mean, I've been winning so much money here lately, so can't win it all. How is we're doing here? This one goes out. Have a good amount of have an alarm here going off. Jesus Christ. Just a second. This one here we have been going through, so we have like 3 hands left. Yeah, okay, so this and this one is a good one here. So it's a 3-bet pot, right? He goes ahead and open with Queen Jack Jack 9 double suited, very, very standard. I go ahead and 3-bet with Ace King Queen 5. I've checked it up in the pre-flop helper somewhere. It's not this one, is it? This one here. 3-betted versus the button 100% of the time. Is this one right? Yeah. And yeah, he obviously calls, which is also standard. So we get to the flop here with a stack to pot ratio of 4, and the thing is that I have a bunch of solid, robust equity here. I have a gut shot, and I have a nut flush draw, and I have 3 overcards. But I do not have any showdown value. And with a stack to pot ratio on 4, I don't mind the money going in, and I would like a fold if I can. Now this guy flops top set. He is obviously not going anywhere, but I go ahead and bet. He jams, I call, the money goes in, and here on the river I river a straight. So very, very lucky for me, but yes, I think it's the way to play that spot there. It is a very, very common spot here, small blind versus button, and these kind of stack to pot ratios and equities, so don't misplay those. Important to study that and be aware of it. Even though I get in here behind, we will see here when I bet and he jams, then I need 33% equity to call. And then you can say, yeah, but if you didn't bet here on the flop, then then you wouldn't end up in that situation, and that's true. But here with no showdown value and the way ranges work against each other here, it is absolutely correct to see bet and try and get a fold there. So here we have a couple of small blind versus cut-off situations, which is kind of interesting, I think. We can take this one here first, where cutoff goes ahead and open. This is Limber again here. He opens Queen Jack 8-4. I'm not really sure if that's an open in the cutoff, but I go ahead and free bet here with Ace Queen 9-5 double suited. The Limber calls and cutoff calls too. So I flop bottom 2 pair again with a stacked pot ratio of 2. This guy flops a wrap, 2 backdoor flush draws. I have 2 backdoor flush draws too, and yeah, I don't see any other choice really than to get the money in here with this lower stacked pot ratio. And we are flipping, and what will you know, I end up making a boat on the river, so running very, very good. The thing about this spot here, like, I put it in here to the bucket tool, where this is exactly a small blind versus the cutoff spot, and you will see here that this hand here, if we call, we lose 0.4 big blinds, and if we free bet, we lose 0.4 big blinds. So it's kind of mixed strategy. And it is really not that much of a winning play, but it is correct to go ahead. There's no fold over here to go ahead and free bet it. We will do that 94.8% of the time, but it's just not a hand or a spot that's printing money. And then again, it goes to show how hot I run at the moment, right? I get in and I play the hand correct, I play the spot correct, but running very, very hot. Here is the same, which is much more questionable what I do here. I am in the small blind again. It's against the cutoff. I hold a Ace Jack 6-6. I just do like this here. Yay. Lame. Sorry boys, but I just like to get this in here. So we are here in a small blind. There's again a limber cutoff opens. I go ahead and free bet with Ace Jack 6-6 double suited, and the limber folds and the cutoff calls. And if we go in here in the bucket tool, and it is the same spot, and put it in. See how long time has this video been going for? Close to 15 minutes. We will see. We can fold here. I mean, when we're in a small blind, we basically always are behind with half a big blind. If we fold half the time, then we lose that half a big blind. And if we call, then we lose a little bit less half the time, right? And there is no free betting going on. So mistake on my part to free bet there. I have put it into the preflop helper here also. And we will see here versus the button, it's a free bet, but there's not saying anything about the cutoff. So a hand I play too aggressively, and probably just should have go ahead and fold it. But I did go ahead and free bet, and I do flop at the world again, bottom set with a flush draw. Now this guy flops even more, he flops a straight. Equity wise I'm ahead, and there's no, again, the spot plays itself from here when this with this kind of stacked pot ratio, which is 2.5 or something like that. right? Yeah, something like that. So money have to go in, and luckily for me, I turn a flush and hold all the way. So yeah, running very very hot at the moment, and that is kind of nice to try that too. That was it for now, and I wish you all the best of luck in life.